Yeah, so that's basically what I've heard. It is a financial coin. I'm not sure.
Do you mean like a banking coin?
Yeah, something along those lines in terms of payments and settlements and whatnot. I actually don't know if it's gotten ISO approved, to be honest with you. Yeah, the Lord never told me to long-term hold it. He just said, get it now for the short term, that it would bring seed money for me.
Interesting.
It's already done well. I haven't been in the red in the last 3 weeks. I'm way up still, and it could hit. For some reason, I was fasting and praying last week, and I felt that the Lord told me new all-time high. I don't know time frame, obviously, but I just feel that very strongly. It could. There's a couple things that are catalysts here. We could start to rise and then get a Binance listing, and the Binance listing can project that thing way, way up. But normally these coins tend to dump too, so you don't want to be in it after that. The day of the Binance listing, you're probably going to get a massive dump on the network. Just something that I feel like is a possibility.
How low is it now?
0.02 cents.
Yeah, 0.0236 right now.
Interesting.
Can I ask a question that's not maybe so TA related, but it's related to this coin? I've never really done much staking at all, but Super shared something in our Telegram group about this having 40% staking. That seemed like an incredible number to me. I don't know if anybody's doing that or what you're seeing, but I just wanted to ask if anybody had insight there.
There's 40% staking, but there's also a bonus in staking. Apparently you can get up to 80 or 90% staking for the year. But as more people are staking their coins, they reduce the percentage that you can get on it. So it's gone from, I think, 48% down to the low 40s already, and it might go down to the 30 area. I'm not staking just because I'm here for short term, but if you have quite a bit of it, and you're looking to hold long term, I do believe it will do well. That's just what I feel, and that it'd be worth it to stake it, probably.
Is this Lisa's coin?
Sorry?
Is this Lisa's coin? The one that she talks about all the time?
I don't really talk about it that much.
No?
No. Paychecks is my coin.
Yeah, besides that one, there was one that you would keep talking, and it skyrocketed. Which one's that?
That's this one, Lisa. XCN.
This one, and XTR went up a lot, but this one went up a lot.
Yeah, it ran, and it's gonna run again. But I believe that the future for this, I hear it all. When, I don't know how it is.
Yeah, a lot of people are actually saying that depending on the hype of the coin, and they've come out in the past 3 or 4 weeks with a lot of different updates on the network, and they've just poured them out. They had a new ledger update. They've had burn rates. Now they're burning tokens. So now it's a deflationary asset. They're implementing a whole lot of really positive information, and a lot of people are thinking that they're going to add additional layers to this, and they're just slow rolling it. But there's speculation that they could be partnering with other projects as well down the road, and these are huge catalysts why it could get to that point. People are saying $2 by the end of the bull run. But Prophet Robin, he did say that in just a recent stream, he said he saw Onyx Coin, or XCN, going to $1.12 very quickly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's another layer of confirmation for you there, Janet.
That's awesome. He's always confirming me. That's so awesome.
You gotta love it when that happens, right?
Yeah, I know, right? You confirmed me the other day, not too long ago.
Oh, praise God. Yeah, that was
Well,
really
yeah,
cool.
when you said 210, you know that, and then I was saying 189, and I'm like, how are you gonna do that? And then how? Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, it was cool. It's always amazing to see those fulfilled.
I know. It's better than anything else.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Is XCN Onyx Coin?
Yes.
I thought I had another map on it then.
Interesting. I didn't even realize it was Onyx Coin.
Yeah, I wasn't going to invest in it, and I felt like the Lord was leading, and then I saw this prophetic video about someone saying about the Ark of the Covenant being carried by people. They had stones adorned on their shoulders, and that one of the stones was an onyx, and that the Lord had led this woman to invest in it. And I stay away from most projects that I don't feel led to it, just because I don't want to be too polluted, right? I stick with what the Lord kind of shows me and what he has shown us. but this one, it was screaming at me. I avoided it, and then I had 3 multiple confirmations, and I said, all right, God, I'll do it. And then within the day, it started to just shoot up. So I was like, wow.
Good. Yeah, it is Onyx. Like saying that Onyx coin. Yeah, I like it. I like the project. Our last health, it's really far away. Really far away. You're looking for another. That was way back when we looked at that. The next health is going to be possibly that price. And if triple, that's where I think if you guys can pick it up there, great. If you want to start picking it up now because you believe it may do well prophetically, praise God. But as it is, I like the direction it's going. I like that it's going down, a lack of interest. That's what I want to see. After health and pushing in the background, that's what I want to see. I don't always look for everything going down. A lack of interest is something good. You have to read it in context. In the background, there was a reason they got past this area. If you know where that area is and you see them going back down to the area with now a lack of interest, especially if the next move is into health on an increase in volume, I think this is going to be a good thing and possibly a lot of seed money for some of the people. For some of you guys, if we can get there. So I'm going to do this. For me, I'm going to draw that angle on the daily chart, which I did. And that's my watch line. And I'm going to set a line just above it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that one as my alarm. And I'm going to say, look to enter. Okay, so that's one. Then I'm going to send the one that's more directly on the one, which is this one. Okay, so let's put that back. I'm going to tap on that one.
Is that 1.5 by any chance?
I don't know. I'll tell you in just a moment. And I'm going to put look. Let me type in the alarm. XC at touching watch line. Okay. Now that's how I know that this might be soon. And that doesn't mean just because we touch it, it's time to buy, because we already touched it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, but we're still coming down. I want to build above it. So that's why I set this extra alarm right there, so that I know when we're there, we have a higher chance of being already broken above. We get some solid closes here and come back down. That'd be great. It's just a place to know. Now, most likely that's going to happen sometime at the end of February 28th here or here. So maybe around March 2nd. So somewhere at the end of the month, this is going to probably happen. If we come all the way back down to 0.01009, which is about 0.001 or 1 penny, that'd be great. If a crypto goes and hits $2 and it's at a penny and you can buy it at a penny, praise God, right? That area is somewhere around March 13th to March 15th. So that's the vortex. So shorter term, this is probably in your pocket or something you're looking at. So whether we're going to get these prices or those prices, I think you're probably going to get both. I will highlight both on the board and you guys can go from there. Now, Triple J, you asked a question. What was your question?
Oh, you answered my question because I said you see 1.5. I couldn't see what was.
Okay. There's the 0.15 right here. It's right about there. Just slightly under, yeah. See where my dot is? That's about 0.15. Slightly up higher is 0.16. And here's the 0.10. And yeah, and your numbers match the upper there. Oh, I have some good news to share with you, Triple J, afterwards. So just remind me to tell you after the video. Some good news. Okay, I put on the request. We only have a few more. We're almost out of time. I'm going to be doing 3 more. I'll be back on Wednesday, and I will be looking at Velo, Dodge, and this week for possible entries and stuff like this week. Somebody wants me to use RSI on one of the indicators. If you want me to look at RSI on your crypto, let me know if you haven't, and I'll give you a take. But I would challenge you to look first yourself and see what you can find. I don't mind being here, but I love to make sure that you guys know how to catch a fish yourselves. Okay, and so I at least know or have a baseline of where your knowledge might be. So people sending me charts all the time. I love it. Keep sending them to my email. You may get a short response from me, but just know it's great that you send your charts and say, hey, this is what I see. Many of those times they're very helpful, and they also help me see things I don't have to see. Less brain power that I have to use. The next crypto is SUI. Okay, XUI. Let's see. It looks like I got one on KuCoin. I'm going to click that button right there, and there we go. All right, let's see what SUI is telling us right now. Okay, it looks like we had an oscillation that was something like this. That means price moving back and forth. That's all oscillation really means. Okay, like a sine wave. Okay, price moving back and forth here. Then we broke above that area. And we rounded down somewhere about right here, and we're sitting now on top of this area. Now look at the volume, what's happening as we dipped down. We spiked back here and came back in. Now let's take a look at the volume real quick, and it looks like it's a really high volume. A lot of volume here may indicate a secondary accumulation if we can move into health. Now where's the health? I'll just draw it for you real quick. It's a small move, something like above there. That would indicate health. So if I'm able to break this watch line and get it here, that would indicate a health. Now, right now, we're still not there. We probably won't be there until February 21st. February 21st, today is February 10th. That's the vortex. However, what might it mean if there's too much volume in this area, especially relative to maybe the old other times we're here? What might it mean? Somebody just shout it out if you know the answer. What might it mean if there's too much volume? It may mean there's buying here, but if it's a down thrust and we're testing in this downtrend after a health, what might it indicate using our standard sword method art? Anybody?
Verification?
Okay, not really so much looking for verification. The high volume, it might mean something's happening at this area, but if there's too much volume, what might it mean is happening around this price area?
Be a shakeout.
Could be a shakeout. It could be a shakeout. Some of that would be indicated if we
That's
move
just
into health.
testing
The area.
down there, the market for those prices.
Yeah. What would tell us that there's a market down in this? And that's correct. That's what I'm looking for. What would be the sign that there's too much of a market down in these areas? By the way, this is all micro volume anyway. What would be the sign? Yeah, it is a test to see if there's a lot of market down here, too many people. They're trying to see how many people are willing to part with their SUI at these prices. After health came in, they're bringing it down and seeing how many people are willing to part with it at these prices. And they're gobbling it up. You can see that because it came back up. But the amount of volume that's very unusually high tells us something. That is the answer I'm looking for. I'm looking, you guys are right. You're right in the ballpark, but it's the volume itself that tells us, it's this volume itself that tells us how much market is here. And guess what? How much market is there? It's a lot of volume. That's there. Very high volume, even higher than the push. Now, it could be a sign of secondary accumulation, but because there's so much volume, it's going to tell us something. We're probably going to be playing in this relative area for a bit, okay? Even down up to there. Okay, we're probably going to be playing here until they know for certain that no more sellers are going to be dumping their supply and that's ready and it's all clear above. There has to be a removal of the supply, okay, for them to really launch a campaign, even if it is buying. And we know it's probably going to be buying. The more confirmation is going to be a move into health somewhere above that resistance, right? That's going to be a sign. The whole thing as a whole is already in a move of health. But if it's ready, if the cake is ready or not, it's going to be determined by how much supply, how much volume is happening in this area. We don't want excessive volume because it tells me too many people are willing to dump it. And maybe they're like, oh no, I missed the top. I better get out now. And
where's the support for that area then?
how can we find a support for that area? Come on, you guys know the answer. Where's the support? Is it this line? How can we confirm more of that? It could be along this white line, right? That's the upper key angle. What is a way we can easily calculate that where the supports might actually be if the support doesn't hold and we come back down? Even though it's trying, we're not guaranteed anything and we don't have the next health to trigger a trade. How can we calculate where the real support is? Somebody tell me. You guys know the answer. We did it today twice as part of a tutorial. Nobody? 32 people in the room, none of us know the answer? If you guys are all sitting at a table and you're discussing together, how are you gonna? We already have a watch line. It's somewhere along that angle. We can
put that at the bottom.
That's one option. We can duplicate that watch line, put it at the bottom. It might be along there. If we were doing the wick side, it might be there. Okay. What else can we do to find where a viable support is? Targeting system. That's what I was looking for. Targeting analysis. It's very easy. All we do, fixed range volume profile tool, which is our target analysis system. I'm going to bring it up to the top. I'm measuring this area here, and now we have some targets. Where are the targets? They are here and here. I need to do a better job as a teacher because nobody was quick to catch that, even though we did tutorials on it today. That'd be a great way to find where these are. If I was trying to find our halfway point, it's going to be about on the top upper side of here. This is the swing point, and then if I'm doing the swing point from here to here, it's going to be about somewhere right there on the upper part, or just a little in the middle there. So I'm not going to draw those. I'm just going to show them here. So is this well within our range of where we're looking at? You guys tell me.
Yes.
Yes. So is it possible to have a false breakdown or even price play in this area for the next few days and then still be in health and scare the heck out of everybody? Yeah. The answer would be yes. And to trigger the trade, we really want to be above here anyway. So most likely we're going to see prices, and I'm going to give you the numbers so you can have them in advance. $2.70. I'm sorry, $2.76 to $2.48. Got it? All right. See, I know you guys can do it. You're still with me. You can use all of those, and while we have some smaller vortexes, and we can be more successful by stacking odds in our favor, trying to understand the game as it's being played, because it's a game designed to make you lose. So the more variables we understand at work, the more times we can find these principles at work, the more we can start looking for when something good or when something bad is happening. We can see it playing out. We can see their strategy. We can see what they're doing. Right now, I'm letting you know for SUI, there was too much market down here. There's a reason for them to keep it lower for a little bit. We can see that because it was too excessive. Yes, it's buying, but it's too much market. Too many people are saying, yeah, I'll sell it to you at a cheap price. And if you're the buyer, you're like, yeah, the more I can pay a cheap price, I'll pay it. As long as I can pay a cheap price and not an expensive one. And this is the cheap prices for them. Got it? All right. Let's put a little marker. I should probably do like this in yellow eventually, but currently that just means lack of interest. So I'll change that in a future version of sword method. Let's just type right here, buying coming in. However, excessive indicates too much supply at this area. This is a type of test. Okay. They bought it up, but they realized they can get away with it at lower prices. So why not allow it to go lower? So don't be surprised if none of you guys, if you guys see that this support on the daily chart stops holding over the next until March 3rd. I'll put the vortex, we'll move on. The vortex is just me putting a call out saying, hey, March 3rd area, 2025. That means that price can play in that area until then. All right. Any other questions? Are you ready? Let's move on. All right. The next crypto is Spell. Okay. Do we have any spelling people in here? Spelling bee people? Let's look at it on, looks like a Binance. This data, let's see, so I'm going to have more data. Let's go to a weekly chart first. It's a little messy. See if we can smooth it out. Oh, wow. Looks like this crypto fell from grace. 0.02 cents. Currently it's 0.001. Large round structure tells us we want to be thinking parabolic. Okay. Now I'm going to use my new gesture method, which it's going to be somewhere like here, and then we're going to give us bottoms like that, and then I'll use that as my guide. Okay. This is going to be my gesture line, and this is going to level out. Okay, so what a level out means is this parabolic doesn't go like a full circle. It doesn't come backwards because price doesn't move backwards. So I take note of these areas where price levels out, and I try to get the general ballpark range, and I use that to my advantage. Okay, now that would put me currently with a resistance somewhere in the sky up here. That's going to tell us this crypto is primarily going to take off after 0.03 to 0.0025. In addition to that, we're going to be looking for prices as a low somewhere around these areas, 0.00027 and 0.00023. So 3 zeros there. Okay. Now, price doesn't appear to be respecting properly the mid phantom, which would be that area. So let's try to see if I have a respect. And looks like I may have that respect here and possibly here. Let's see if it's more of a range, the low side and on the high side. All right, so I'm going to put this mid phantom as a range, which is new. Range, mid, phantom, and then I'll give you the prices. 0.00091, 0.00072. All right, let's fade this away a little bit. Let's move this off to the side, just so you guys have that. Okay, I'm going to fade this away even more so. as to not be so much in your way. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So that's going to be part of our larger oscillation, and I'll take that screenshot. The next one I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking for buying on spell. Okay, so let's pull up our histogram and change that to a histogram. Good. Do we have professional buying entering this crypto on the down bars? Not as clear. This down move has some increase in volume. This down move has some increase in steady volume. Then we get a lot of volume up there and lack of interest. So if there's buying coming in, I don't really see it on the macro. Let's go to the micro, and this is where I'm looking at the individual volume, okay, on those down bar areas. This is what I'm going to be looking at, the volume in this area here. Okay, that's going to be my VZB zone where all the heavy activity is happening. Okay, so just as a reference, I'll save that for you guys. Okay, now on these individual bars, let's see what's going on with the volume. So let's take a look and just see if we can identify some heavy volume. So nothing really so much there. Here we got some down bars, nothing really. And then we start getting some high volumes near these bars right there, which is technically part of the low areas. So this is where we can start seeing, hey, something happening here. The move was into health. Okay, there's your health right there. There's your sword cut. And we've been above sword cut ever since. So this might be a sign that this was buying. Okay, this is where we'll put those white arrows in this area. Okay, so that would be buying coming in. Then we have on the bottom side, we got another strong volume here. What might have that been? Does anybody know? This is more of a harder one. I think some of you might know the answer. Okay. This is a move into health, but it's on high volume before we move up to the side and high. What volume might have that been? 10 seconds, since we're at the end of our class. Nobody? The answer we're looking for is it's going to be either pushing or sustaining. In this case, it's going to be a sustaining. Okay, that means that once we came into health, they wanted it to go up. So there's an all aboard type of moment. They throw money at it because it's already safer to do, and they can throw big money at it. It's also represented by the retail market saying, oh, I don't really want to trade this yet, and oh, it just had a breakout, let's get in. That kind of attitude. So that's the all aboard, it's safer now, let's go. Like that's that money coming in when it's safer to do. And we can see that money still played out. Now, when we come back down to these lower areas, all the way to these, all up until these down here, we have a very low, no demand situation. That's a very good thing for this. Okay, right there in that zone. Now, if there's more buying after this move, the health is here. Let's take a look and see if there was something happening in this zone. We came down low, still no demand, no real interest in the market. And then we come finally here, and all of this is very high volume on these bars right here. Somebody tell me what volume that is. Okay, somebody tell me what volume that is. This one right here. Okay, that move into that quadrant on very high volume into health, followed by another move to the side and up. What volume was this? Anybody? Okay, nobody. It is also pushing and a type of sustain, but in this case, it's more pushing. It's throwing money in it after it's safer to do. This no demand or low demand situation, lack of interest, was telling us it's safe. It's safe. So the big players are like, okay, let's bring it up now. And they throw money at it. So again, it's a pushing type of volume. They're pushing it after the fact, after it's more safer to do, to bring it into a healthy territory. So we got really sustaining, and we got pushing, which is keeping price healthy. And here's pushing into healthier areas. Now, to my knowledge, I'm about the only person who teaches this, because most volume spread analysis teachers don't teach it using trend lines. Very few use trend lines on a day-to-day basis. They just look at only volume, which is great. But if you compare them with trend lines to the advanced degree that we do in sword method using our art, it reveals a little bit more than the standard volume spread analysis teacher. So this volume here is a very good thing. So pushing, anytime you see pushing, you can tell professionals are doing it on purpose. So they purposely kept the market high. They purposely brought it into health here. This is where they kept it high. This is where they do it. So on purpose, they're wanting it to go higher. That's what it basically tells you. All right, so this is looking good. Spell is looking good so far. Now there's one other thing we want to look at, and that's the challenges for the resistance. Is there a lot of resistance here? Is a lot of people dumping here? We have really high volume on this next bar. It's on an up bar followed by a down move back into a no demand or low demand interest, which means this is the correction. People are not interested in the down prices. But it doesn't mean that all the people who are going to be selling and dumping are gone. Okay, we want to see that either the volume is really low at the top after it being high, with health in the background. The other thing we want to see is a very high volume on those up bars, indicating that there's a market higher, okay, for us. So in context, the professionals are getting in, and we see this increase in volume here at these areas. I'm going to show you where it is. So look carefully. When examining the tops of the market in this area and in this area, from 1 to 2, we actually now see an increase in volume at these areas, or at least the same volume. This tells me there's too much of a market here. These are the cryptos I look to see health in the background and buying in the background. I already identified buying in the background for you. Buying in background. Okay. So we saw buying into health in the background. That's fantastic. And we're seeing the challenge at the same or increase, which is great, which means there's a market higher prices. So therefore, all I would be doing with this crypto is looking for health and trying to get in some low prices. So this crypto probably going to do good longer term. Okay, so let's put this in our little text up here. Put today's date, February, and try to find some good stuff going on for you guys in the markets. February 10th, 2025. Spell. Okay, this crypto has some buying in the background into health. Further, prices have been sitting on its sword cut supports with pushing and sustaining volume at those breaks. This indicates those moves were done on purpose. In addition, concerning resist, I can see there is a high volume at the tops. That indicates there is a strong market for higher prices. Now, there could be some dumping, but I don't think it is. I just think it's resistance. There's still a market at the top, okay? We're going to need to see any signs of weakness, and right now I don't see them. So in context, I'm going to be looking for this to do well, and I'll put that in. I would be looking for this crypto to do well. And you're saying, I don't care about this crypto. Sure, but if you learn these principles, you can start using these principles on every crypto that you are looking at. You can glean a little bit every single day. Now, if I was looking for price to fall and support, I would use these simple round structures here and draw the line. There's my support. Okay, so if I'm looking for it to fall or be at a low area, that's the price I want to pay. I can set alarm for me approximately when I'm there in those areas by clicking on my line, coming down to my alarm clock, that one right there, click on the alarm clock and type in look for prices, look for entry prices. I might get them, and then I'll pay a good price for Spell because I would be buying it somewhere in these areas. Okay, make sure that was correct. Look for entry prices on Spell, and I need to hit the save button. Save. Okay, so now this line is ready. There's a little alarm clock symbol right about there in the lower left. So I'm looking for prices to be here, and that's probably good. Now the next thing I'm going to be looking at, we're going to find some, it's going to be our key angle on the top, our phantom angle. Key angle. I'm going to be looking now for one more thing, and what was I looking at again? There's something else we can really look for to see where we're going. How high might we go? Just say I buy it here, and we start moving up. How can I gauge how high we can go? Quiz to see who knows the answer now. How can we quickly calculate where we're going and where we probably need to take profit at? Somebody shout it out. There's 25 people. I know you guys can know the answer. We can do this. So say we sat down at a table and we said, hey, Spell's looking good. We got some health. We got some supports. We're sitting on some of these smaller parabolics. Things are looking good. We have some new areas. We have a resistance up here. Is there any way we can confirm where we're going, or even if it's higher? What ways can we do? How can I find this area based on just this chart? There's an easy way we can calculate how high we're going to be going. Let's see. And I don't want to hear from Firecracker. She got all the answers today. She did good. But apart from her, I want to see if all of you guys know the answer. She's our top trading analyst for today. Let's see if any of you guys else know the room. DP projection, we could do DP projection. DP projections, Angie says, DP projection is going to be a duplication of the larger oscillation. For that, we would like a lot more confirmations, but basically it's the duplication of this angle here. So we would go up maybe in the sky somewhere up there. There's another answer I'm looking for that's much more simple, or at least more immediate. Okay, good job, Angie. Okay, we might be looking to get up there. Okay, what else? Okay, nobody knows the answer? All right, I want our top student to give the answer, and then I want all of you to remember. Yes, it's the same question I've been asking all over again. This is how we calculated supports for and resistances for XCN. This is how we calculated it for, see those targets. How did I know that we were going to scan a resistance even before it happened? Because I did targeting system. How did we know for XRP where some of the supports are going to be? I don't know for XRP. We didn't do it for XRP, but we did it for recently for USDT.D based on the previous move, and we do it quite a bit, day in and day out. So we're going to do it here. We have a top and we have a bottom. We actually have two bottoms, so we're going to measure from here to here a target and the targeting system. So it's a fixed range volume profile. I showed you at the beginning of today's video. We're going to take that and bring it down to the bottom, and then we're going to measure. Okay. Now it's going to give us this. Okay, we're going to be looking at our two targets. There's two of them, but actually really only one. I'll give you the main one for today. Where's my block? Where's my rectangle? It is here. There's our valley, and we're going to make it teal. Bring up the color. Okay, so I'm going to be looking in that area. You see that? Alrighty, that's going to be our target. Well, let's see where it's at. Oh, would you look at that? It just happens to be where our gesture is. Who's surprised? I'm not. Send it back. See, when you start understanding the flow of price, you're going to come to the same conclusions by whatever method you start within sword. We can apply all the techniques in our art to come to a similar conclusion. In art, we can all paint a landscape, but some may use watercolor, some may use pen and ink, some may use oil, some may use oil pastels. Some of you guys are going to just use crayons. And some of you may see the tree a little bit differently, but ultimately you're going to see the same landscape, even through the vague abstract. Using our art, you're going to start coming to the same conclusions, even if you come from it from a different perspective. Some of you, this may be frustrating, especially if you're more analytical. But from a teaching and a mnemonics perspective, something like a memory perspective, this is one of the most wisest things I can do for you. I can try to give you the information from various perspectives, such as we talked about in judging situations today in our word room at the beginning of today's message from James chapter 4, part 2. I can try to give you the same meal from multiple perspectives so that it gets ingrained in you and you won't forget it. It can help you understand what it is I'm trying to say and how to remake your way home. Okay? When you have a new dog and you start teaching him in the neighborhood, you want to go everywhere within your neighborhood and take every path you can take. If your dog ever gets lost, he's going to remember one of those paths and he's going to find, oh, I know this road. It's the way home. And you can do that technique with your children. You can get them used to, because life is going to throw a lot at them and they need to be well-rounded to handle every situation. In the same way with your own learning, try to approach it from a different perspective and see if you can get back to those same conclusions. Again, this is going to be frustrating for some of you guys because you're like, oh, why can't he just teach the same way? There's a reason I'm doing it this way on purpose, to show you guys how to create or how to choose. I'm not telling you so much what to think, but how to think, how to come about in an understanding. So I hope that really helps you guys. Let's finish up to today with this. All right, so let's put our resistance underneath that column. Do I have any other questions with spell? I hope these sessions are helping you guys. I sure do love you guys. I want you guys, you're going to be millionaires and billionaires and no one's going to be able to tell you what to do. So it's best you understand how the flow of price works from many perspectives so you guys can do that. Let's talk about how much money's on the table for spell. If we're able to get a low price such as these down here and we come up, we're looking around 300%. And it's probably likely we're going to either see a breakout at those areas above there, or we're going to see that resistance and prices get knocked back down again, and that's where we're going to be looking at. Most likely that's going to be the case. Even if we spike above, if we're getting squashed down here, we're probably going to come back down until we're ready to properly build above it. But as it is right now, the small buying coming in, fantastic. All right, no other questions for this one? Ask now or forever hold your peace. All right, one more. It's XEN. Ah, here it is. I just need to add that to my watch list. Let's go back to watch list. This is on KuCoin. I'm going to click the little plus button, and there it's added. All righty. Let's see what I have, at least for my current map. Okay, we had looked at this on the monthly chart originally, and this is a good place to be on this larger game. It's a dangerous place in the sense that it's low, but it's where we want to be based on this top up there, the core meet here, and the breakout. So it's not very clear, but it's a good place where we want to be. For this month, the price is 006011, and that's where we're at basically today. Okay, we went a little bit below it, but overall, that's where we need to build this to start showing some sign of health. So I will include that larger picture. Now let's go to a smaller story and see if we can find some more things happening. Now, when I looked at this on the week beforehand, it looks like I already labeled some of the buying coming in, buying, and this is going to be some buying happening. This should say pushing here. Oh no, that's not going to be that one. The lack of interest. That one should say lack of interest. Oh, I did say put supply draining. Supply draining / lack of interest after buying. Lack of interest after buying. Okay, or in other words, with buying in the background, that supply draining is important. So I'll put some of this here. Okay, now we're going to do another thing. This is a resistance area based on some of this oscillation up there, but it seems like it's cracking. So I'm going to fade that line away. I'm not really going to be looking so much at that as a major resistance. I want to find the major supports and major resistances. Something I haven't done on this chart is target system. You guessed it, our theme for today. So let's draw our fixed range volume profile. And we're going to bring it all the way to the bottom. There's two bottoms, so I'm going to use that one right there on this day. And let's try to see where our targets are. In this case, maybe there's a target here, and that might be our major resistance area. Now, price seemed to reach above this area, but it also hit this just more recently. So there's probably more variables going on than we want. Now, if this was my core monthly key angle, and I can say, yeah, that's healthy, but if I'm looking for something more immediate, I'm going to use this one right here, and I'm going to give it a different color. Let's make it pink so you guys can see it. It is this core, this wick, and maybe that wick. Okay, so let's see if I can try to collect all these points as best I can, and I'm going to adjust it, and it's going to be right there. So I'm going to put this on the background. So even though there's some health appearing longer term, for the cake to really be ready, I'm going to put this closer to these prices, and I'll give you that price. It's around, it's not part of that one, the main one on the monthly. It's around this price right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 9. Okay, get me there, and we can start talking about something good happening for this crypto. I'm going to put all these lines in the background by bringing price forward. Okay. All right, let's do something else. Since these flats don't seem to be holding right now, although they are active, we need to fade them away because they're not dominant right now. Or at least that one is not so dominant. This is a very messy crypto, right? Very messy. So we got to be really careful with XCN. Trying to time a messy crypto is very difficult if it's not so clear. Okay, now we're going to do one more thing. Let's see if we can draw the bottom angle here, because we may have angles that we can draw. Let's see if we can connect as many of those bottoms as possible. I don't know if I can collect this wick. It may not be, yep, I can collect it. All right, there it is. So I'm going to draw another color. Let's give this a light blue color. And I'm going to fade away this. I'm going to bring this sword cut to more recent. Okay, and I'm going to give you this image. All right, support coming in these areas might be good. And if we're going in and out of, this is what I mean by messy. You can be healthy, but still playing in and out of those cryptos on a messy crypto, even though you're coming in and out of those supports. You have to see the game changing in slow motion. That's the whole goal for this part. Even if you have a crypto that's really messy, your goal is to try to see and understand what is the general new direction, or what's really happening? Sometimes that's happening in the big picture because the big players play a very long game. And if you're too zoomed in, you ain't going to see it. You're like, oh, we're going up, we're going down, I don't know. And you don't see the transition happening before your eyes. Sometimes there's a transition that happens before our eyes. So sometimes things are really messy, and we need to keep our eyes on those big clear ones. Now I'm going to delete this DP projection that was already hit and price broke above it. And I'm going to fade away that I just draw the target a little bit, but still keep it. But it was already hit, so we don't really need to keep it. But I can keep it in case I see price bouncing on that area. All right, if I'm going to be looking for a health, I'm going to draw a watch line. And here is going to be my first watch line, probably the only one I'm going to draw right now. And we'll leave it at that. If I'm playing this really close to the chest and I'm looking for XCN to do well, I want it to do well there. Okay, I want it to do well above this area. That's primarily what I'm looking to get to. And then one of them needs to say monthly. So that's what that big one was. I need to, now to denote this big one, I'm going to type in the actual circle monthly. Nope. Yeah. So there I put monthly here. And then here we can just put like the daily. If you wanted to label these, you can. Daily. All right. And that might help you understand the picture a little bit more. So take a screenshot right now. We're going to need to get above here, and then we're going to be looking to hit some resistances up there at those prices, and that's the trade. Okay, if you're taking this trade, that's probably where you're going to be looking either to break out the new health, or underneath that, you're going to be looking to get slammed back down, especially with this messy crypto. Sometimes crypto's messy. Okay.
What's the price of the watch line?
If it's tomorrow, the price is, hold on. If it's tomorrow, it's going to be 6016, somewhere around right there. Okay, but it's better for you to draw it than just use that flat price, because that is a very sharp incline. So that's going to change. And the vortex is around March 14th. Yeah, March 14th. So I'll put the vortex as well, a marker, just so you can set your alarm clocks and check to see if you guys are doing that. All right, some of you guys, this is really important to you, so I hope to do my best to try to make some of these maps based on some of my skills. I have a very particular set of skills that make me dangerous to a man like you. I will find you. I will hunt you. March 15th. Alrighty. Any other questions for me today? I will be back on Wednesday. Lord, I pray that you bless our community. I pray that you give us peace. Help us give us skill to understand more and more of the variables that are within the flow of markets. Pray that you give us remembrance to help us remind us, give us sharp minds and skills to be adept in all the various areas that you need us to be. For it is written in other canonical books about Joseph, how he was a man of wisdom, understanding, and adept in many of the sciences and things that were taught to him. And he was honored in the presence of the king because of the knowledge you gave him regarding languages. I thank you so much for all the interpretation of dreams and even that language that you gave to Joseph. Now, Lord, in a similar way, I pray that you would make us strong, sharpen our minds, give us understanding to all the things we are attempting to understand, whether they be markets or sciences, or whether they be the study of the Word of God. I pray that you would give us sharp minds to understand any business venture we're trying to do, whether it be farming or in some kind of work in the city or anything we put our hands to do. In keeping with my prayer for today, may it so prosper, whatever their foot finds to go, wherever their foot finds to go, and whatever their hand finds to do. May you bless them, may you keep them, make your face to shine upon them. Look upon them with favor, O Lord. Be abounding to them with grace, be gracious unto them. Lift up your countenance towards them and give them peace. And I speak peace over them in Jesus' name. Amen. We'll be back at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. I love you guys. Be right back.